about our price on pollution. That's a very powerful market-based mechanism. It's going up every single year, and we increased it this year, even in the face of higher inflation. And to me, that shows a meaningful commitment.
Welcome back to the show. My name's Mark Nixon. Most of us knew the truth. Many did not. Today, our inflation rate dropped from 2.3% to 1.7%. And you are not going to believe, or you will believe, why it dropped so much. One of the biggest drops in modern history is all because they removed the carbon tax. You know that carbon tax that they told us for 6 straight years, it did not cause any inflation? Just a little bit, 0.15, but that is all. Well, we just found out today that that was a massive lie. But get this, while inflation is dropping rapidly, one thing is not dropping. It's actually going straight up, and that's your food inflation. And why is it doing that? It's because we have counter tariffs against US food imports, and you are paying the price. All seen in today's inflation rate report, which shows a 3.8% increase in the price of food. This is my rapid fire 12 minutes of pure fire. Let's get into the show. Let's go. For years, they told us that the carbon tax was not inflationary, not whatsoever, just a fraction of a percentage. Well, today we found out that was a massive lie because we have seen the largest drop in inflation in modern times, and it's all because they removed the carbon tax on the essentials of life. Everybody uses fuel, and that made the biggest difference in our CPI inflation report today. Now, I'd like to show you some data. Here's the current inflation rate in Canada, 1.7%. Check out the last 12 months CPI change. The CPI dark blue is all items, and the CPI light blue is excluding energy. Check out how it has literally blown up upwards. And it's all because of the price of food. Now let's take a look at all items that are priced in the index. You're gonna see that the biggest changes are food. Shelter is down a bit, but still going up at a considerable pace. But the one thing really bringing things down is transportation, the carbon tax.
He is wrong when he says that the price on pollution, that is both fighting climate change and putting more money in people's pockets, is responsible for inflation.
The carbon tax is not contributing to inflation.
Let's look at specifics. Food purchased in stores. Oh yeah, they're up. And check out how fast the price of meat is going up. It's nearly at 6%. I want to show you guys this chart. This is from the food professor on X. He studies the food prices in Canada. And so the food prices since 2020 are up way over 40%. Most of the items that I see is almost 100% on the items that I purchase. But get this, on average, the food expense per capita used to be in 2020, $301 per month. It has dropped down to $248 per month. So when food prices go up 100% in some cases, and you see the amount of money that people are spending towards food go down, well, you probably already know what that means. People in Canada are going hungry. Here is the 12-month change for grocery prices in stores. You know, taking a look at this, Canada's on the left, it says 3.8%. What I don't understand is there's only 3 provinces that have numbers that are showing below 3.8. All of them are well above 3.8, with some of them showing 5.2, 4.8. So how is it possible that we have a 3.8% inflation rate when the vast majority of provinces are showing rates that are far above 3.8. And our next top story is there's a government pamphlet that is circulating across the country, and it's creating outrage, straight up outrage, and it promotes MAiD, But what makes things even more disturbing is that it appears to be marketed towards our youth in Canada. Let's take a look at this pamphlet. So this pamphlet's going across Canada, and if you look at that one circled section, it says 1 in 10 people will wait more than 4 months for counseling. The wait time for MAiD is only 3 months. What does that even mean? Is this a marketing campaign to use those type of services? I can't even believe this. And then also on the same brochure, it says MAiD for children and teens. Excuse me? MAiD for children and teens? I didn't even know this was a thing. Let's read this further. Let's go to the section here where it says a mature minor is a child or a teen who is deemed capable of making a decision for MAiD. I can't even read that. Like, is that correct? This would essentially remove the minimum age of eligibility. I'm sorry, Canada, but you can't make any of this stuff up. Let's move on to the next paragraph. The committee also suggests parents may not be consulted and wouldn't need to consent to their children's via MAiD. Yeah, so this type of thing is, I don't even know what to say here. I'd love to hear from you in the comments section. This is completely unacceptable. I'm going to show you some statistics now. First, we're going to look at a meme, life-saving care, and then look on to the right. Remember we read the pamphlet? It says express lane. Isn't that what the pamphlet said? Yeah, and there's memes already getting started across the country. And check out this statistic, 2,571 compared to 2,759. And yeah, 4,512 waiting for healthcare. I can't say the words, unfortunately. I think I could say MAiD, but these numbers are incredible. And one thing that's very disappointing, a lot of the M illness, because I don't think I could say that word, it all comes down when we were all stuck in our homes and we couldn't even go outside. I remember that they saran wrapped the children's playgrounds for a year. Imagine what happened to children, teens, as they were stuck at home. We're still dealing with those issues. And this is the recommendation that we're being provided. That is concerning. All right, let's move on. But, I have to talk about these type of things, even though I don't want to, because this is very sad, okay? I don't like talking about these things, but we need to take a look at what's happening in Canada, and this is a real thing. So let's move on to our next story. And our next story is going to make you laugh and smile, but you're probably going to cry as well. It's a little bit lighter. Olivia Chow is thrilled because they're offering seniors. You're not going to believe this, because they announced that they're going to be offering shipping containers for our seniors. That's right. You work your entire life and you retire in a steel box. While the government finds luxury housing for the refugees, bureaucrats, and insiders, our seniors are getting repurposed in freight. Canada used to build homes with dignity, but now we're thinking inside the box.
This is exciting because I'm in front of a construction site. It's home to 55 seniors. They're going to move in early spring next year. We're building it, and Queen Community Center, a very well-known, very good social service agency, is going to come and operate it. These seniors that are going to be here will get comprehensive support, whether they need mental health or any other kind of services. So, yay!
And the most atrocious thing about the entire thing is that they're not going to be ready until next spring. You're telling me it takes a year to drop a shipping box? Unbelievable. Our next story is Melanie Jolie told Rosemary Barton from CBC that it takes a long time to make a budget. We don't have enough time. What about the 157 days that Parliament has been closed? Was that not enough time? And the thing is they provided us a costed budget platform, liberal platform, during the campaign, and they put this thing together. So you're telling me you can't put it all together to give us a budget this year? So basically what we get is zero budget, meaning zero guidelines. It's incredible.
And on the budget, the government is not tabling a budget this spring. I know that's not your job, but there is a view by Pierre Poilievre and others that this does send a signal to investors. You're not laying out what the plan is right now. The most that the Minister Champagne has said is there'll be a fiscal update in the fall. How do you justify this? I mean, I know that there's not a lot of time, but surely there is an opportunity to tell Canadians what the state of Canada's finances are.
Yeah, I think we need to make sure that Canadians understand what is, what's the state of the economy. I think there can be different formats to do that. Of course, this is a decision by the Minister of Finance, and I'll let him do his job. But I'm convinced that we can find ways to do that.
But you don't think a budget is needed right now?
Well, I think a budget takes a long time to do.
Yeah.
But I think also it's important that we are able to inform Canadians. We are the most economic government in years, and it's a question for us to make sure that not only do we deliver results in terms of the economy, but we're able to inform Canadians and investors.
Okay, Minister Joly, thanks for being
Pleasure.
here. I appreciate
Thank you.
being here.
And it's one of the coldest Mays on record right now, with the average temperature across the country between 9 and 13 degrees. There is zero headlines across Canada saying that there's a climate crisis. But don't worry, probably in July when we hit a weekend heat wave, they're going to come out and say, look, the climate is boiling. We're going to have to ban summer road trips because the planet will burn. And Mark Carney told us Canadians that we're more European than we are American. So what I did is I wanted to ask Canadians, do you feel more European or do you feel more American? And I got nearly 8,300 people to respond to the poll, and 91% said they feel more American than European. Can someone out there send this poll to Mark Carney? I think he needs to take a look. Our next top story is the Canadian real estate market has formed a bearish pendant. Even if the Bank of Canada cuts interest rates in June 6th, because that's the next interest rate announcement, by 0.5 percentage point, I don't believe personally it will do anything to turn this thing around. Even if they cut it by 1%. Yeah, I don't think it's going to change things. Think about this. Right now is May. This is the busiest time in the real estate market in Canada. And by summertime, things are not going to be looking good. Most likely by summertime, we're going to see a breakdown in prices across Canada. This is going to get ugly. And our last story is Mark Carney is projected to bring our national deficit to $3 trillion. Just think about this. Currently, our debt service is $60 billion a year. We spend more money on servicing our debt than we do healthcare transfers in Canada. This is not sustainable. This is an engineered collapse. We need to pay attention to this explosive deficit spending. That's it for this report. If you like this video and you want me to continue to perform for you daily, I want to hear from you in the comments section. Smash that like button and share this video with somebody else that needs to know the facts. Since today's show has been so devastating for us Canadians, I got a funny AI-generated Austin Matthews talking to a press conference about the epic Toronto Maple Leafs loss. Enjoy.
I'm a choker, I'm a trash can, and I went ghost when the city of Toronto needed me the most. I'm the biggest playoff choker you will ever find, and the Leafs will never win anything as long as me and Mitch are here. We're both regular season stat patters, and Florida bent us over and gave it to us raw like we were at a Diddy party in this series. They clapped us up 6-1 in 2 games, and you won't find a bigger pounding than that in pro sports. We're definitely going to need a wheelchair for a few days after that pounding. I'm struggling sitting here as we speak because I'm so sore. Hats off to the Panthers, though. I had maybe a 1% belief that we would win tonight because choking Game 7s is in the Leafs' DNA. I'm now 0-6 in Game 7s. But yeah, I think it's time for me to move on from Toronto, and they're probably going to trade me this offseason, so I might as well request a trade myself. You can't fire Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews is firing you.